Thank you guys very much for joining us. We know you're very busy. We have a lot of exciting solutions and helpful information to share with you. Now, to avoid background noise, we've muted all of your phones. At the end of the presentation, we will open the lines and address any and all questions. Give me one moment while I make Tom the presenter.
Thanks, Josh, and welcome everybody to our online presentation from HTH Engineering of integrating the voice technology into your practice through meaningful use and the Federal HITECH Act. Today's webinar we've termed CPR, the Clinician Practice Reimbursement, or rather, breathing life into your medical practice. This is our main website here at HTH Engineering. It's startstop.com, and just a little bit about HTH Engineering Incorporated. We're a team of voice system integrators and technical solution providers with a broad background of medical dictation and transcription packages in our product lineup. Our latest endeavor is the web portal dragonmedicalhightech.com, which we're pleased to provide as a clearinghouse of information and resources for the medical community. Now, rest assured, we're going to be throwing a lot of URLs and information at you. A copy of the webinar will be available on the Dragon Medical High Tech site, as well as a follow-up email with all the URLs and links that we provide. Today, the focus is to help you activate meaningful use and discover the aspects of a predictable reimbursement through the federal government stimulus program known as the HITECH Act. Our primary point is to note that meaningful use is a pay-for-performance program. Therefore, it's imperative to meet or exceed all the core measures as are outlined in the clinical guidelines by the attestation agency. Here at HTH Engineering, we hope to help you prepare a success plan, help you to adopt either an EMR or EHR, or change from the one that you initially began with, and to facilitate deployment of your voice technology. Now, the federal agency that's charged with administering the HITECH program is the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. They can be found at www.cms.gov. I'd like to go to the browser and just look a little bit. The path to payment that they've outlined is a fairly pragmatic method of weeding through the government red tape. But I do want to highlight that today marks the 34-day countdown to July 3rd, 2012, which is the last day for eligible hospitals to begin the 90-day reporting period. So think of the rest of this year as broken down into 90-day reporting periods that in order to get reimbursement for your investment in technology, you'll need to begin the process, or as we call, activate your HITECH EHR. Another very good, helpful website is healthit.gov. This is the Office of the National Coordinator who determines which EHR and EMR software packages and platforms are certified. And that's really a key to this, is which one of the options is going to give you the results and the return on investment that you desire. Here's a quick calendar showing a snapshot of the timeline of implementation. It's a good point to stress at this juncture here that it's important to work with the partner as your quest for the meaningful use attestation grows. One thing that we found with the practices who are pursuing reimbursement is that there can be a heavy impact on your human resources and your IT resources as well if you don't partner with somebody who's got the experience and the knowledge base to help you navigate through many of the procedures and requirements. Our next slide is a pretty complicated slide. It tells you the way to meet what meaningful use really means. In a sense, making it meaningful. The two options are both Medicare and Medicaid as the incentive program, and there are varying dollar amounts depending on which one of the paths that your practice pursues. And the last three items here I want to draw your attention to. Here is if you adopt, which means to acquire and install a certified EHR technology. And number 4, if you implement. This implementation could be primarily just providing staff training. So what we call here at HTH, writing a check, just going for the initial setup and installation of an EHR that is going to provide you with the ability to accomplish what you would like. So we are looking forward to possibly even beginning today, after this webinar is over with meeting the July 3rd deadline, and helping you adopt and implement your EHR technology here at HTH Engineering. So one of the questions, why HTH Engineering Incorporated? Well, we'd like to answer that question by explaining that we're a team of technical experts from electrical engineers, programmers, developers, technicians, with a wide base of experience of voice and data solutions. We've focused on dictation and transcription as our core competencies. We've been involved with helping organizations and practices weed through requirements of HIPAA and the Sarbanes-Oxley Act for over 20 years. And it's that experience that gives us a unique selling proposition to be your partner as you investigate the HITECH requirement. We do this in 3 ways. We do it through software integration, hardware solutions, and providing knowledgeable sales and service support, what we call our concierge service for you to enjoy. A couple of the examples, you may recognize this if you're an Allscript user. This is a desktop-based software solution. We can help you deploy and integrate a desktop solution through the use of Dragon Medical Practice. And notice the emphasis on the prescriptions. The Dragon Medical Practice, as we're going to see later on, will allow you to search popular websites for the medical community to find out if there's a conflict in prescriptions, if there's any medical allergies that are necessary. So Allscripts is a desktop-based platform. One other option is a cloud-based. Now this EHR is a particularly impressive one because of the features and functions. The Athena Clinical's EHR that we're looking at will give you the ability to integrate Dragon and input your voice and turn it into text in a variety of fields. And finally, the last one is Practice Fusion, which our partner Rex is going to be going over and giving a software demonstration for that as well. Number 2, in addition to the software solutions, HTH provides hardware solutions. We're a premier Olympus and Nuance and Philips dealer, along with a host of other vendors that allow us to pass on the value pricing that we receive, as well as what is the key word here, system integration, to make sure that they work together. Now with electronics, we don't want to overburden your human resources or your IT resources through your network or through some of the existing investments that you've made. Now, this is the key slide for this afternoon. Number 3, our knowledgeable experts are available for 3 different aspects as you look to get paid for meaningful use. One is the pre-sales consultation. The second is technical support. And third is the workflow consultation, which occurs before, during, and after the installation of your EHR. Now let's talk about some very pragmatic ways to get reimbursed. Number 1, to build all 44 meaningful use clinical quality measures into a workflow for easy capture. As you're going through and making your selections on which EHR is right for you, make sure that the provider can meet as close to the 44 quality measures, which are termed either core or menu measures, as you make your decision. Number 2, write a check just for the training or for the initial installation of a good Power Mic and Dragon Medical Practice Edition. Even if you choose to use one of the free EHR software packages, you can always migrate because the EMRs and the EHRs are both scalable and extensible thanks to the use of XML as far as the database transfer. Number 2, plan for stage 2 meaningful use core measures. What's happening is we're right at the phase of moving some of the optional menu measures into now being core measures. These are the bullet items that are required to actually get your reimbursement. And number 4, make database rules. If you have a rules database, it's just as if you were setting up your practice for an initial installation of maintaining HIPAA guidelines. This rules database will allow your templates, your macros, and your existing data to be consistent and quality. So we sum it up by saying let's activate meaningful use by allowing us to help you with your steps to adoption, distinguish between Medicare and Medicaid options, as well as providing relevant and consistent information as you help you make your decision. This is my contact information. You can either reach me in any one of the methods above, and be sure to visit our website at www.startstop.com to see the selection of the software, the hardware, and the sales and service that we provide. Now at this point I'd like to turn it over to Josh to show how this works and see some of the technology in action. Josh?
Thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate it. A lot of good information there. Hello, everybody. My name is Josh Stewart, and I'm going to demonstrate Dragon Medical Practice Edition. I know you're all very busy, and I appreciate the time you're taking to view this. Now, due to time restraints, I'm only going to be highlighting a fraction of the available features and functionality of this very powerful solution. Just to let you know, in case you're taking notes, we are recording this presentation. We will follow up with each and every one of you. We have all the links that we've presented as well as a copy of the presentation itself. With that said, let's get started. Now, all of you should see my screen. There are a number of recording devices that can be used to capture your voice within Dragon. Today, I'm going to be demonstrating Dragon using the Dictaphone PowerMic 2 because of its programmability. This is going to allow me to automate several features of the application with the press of a button. So all of the buttons that you're seeing right now on this image are programmable. And I've programmed them to do various features and functionality of Dragon, which allows me to automate. It allows me to keep my hands off the keyboard and mouse. Now I have Dragon loaded up on the top of my screen here. This is called the Dragon bar. That's the user interface. It's how you would generally control the application. Now again, because I'm using a PowerMic, I don't really need to click on anything up here. I've programmed the PowerMic, the microphone, to do all of that for me. So I don't even need to view this, this Dragon bar for this demonstration just to get that out of the way. I'm going to put it in what's called a tray icon only mode. This way it disappears completely. You know it's there because if you look in the bottom of your screen, you see a little red microphone. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my microphone. Let's open up Word and start doing some dictations. Open Microsoft Word. Set font size to 18. Dragon Medical Practice Edition allows you to dictate into virtually any EHR or Windows-based application. New line. Produce documents 3 times faster than typing by dictating up to 160 words per minute. New line. Includes 60 medical specialty and subspecialty vocabularies. New line. Supports HIPAA regulations. New line. Full EMR and EHR support. New line. Supports global and regional accents. New line. Is available in English, German, Dutch, and French. Delete document. Dragon Medical Practice Edition includes a new, faster speech recognition engine that is 15% more accurate than its predecessor, Dragon Medical version 10, and has an overall accuracy of 99%. Period. Those who have used Dragon Medical Practice Edition describe it as, open quote, conversational, close quote, and open quote, engaging, close quote, because it will often ask questions of the user, period. This application is easier to navigate, and has a significantly improved correction functions, period. Dragon Medical Practice Edition is a significant advancement for the business of healthcare management that industry experts anticipate will accelerate the adoption of EHR, open paren, electronic health records, close paren, improve clinician satisfaction, and result in higher quality patient notes, period. Now what you've seen is just basic dictation. Dragon is a very powerful input device. You see that I'm speaking, whatever I'm saying is going to be placed wherever my cursor is. Now for this demonstration I'm using Microsoft Word, but I could be using email, and EMR, any place that has an open narrative box. I can turn on my microphone just by a press of a button and start dictating. You notice I dictate very fast. It keeps up with me. I cannot actually speak faster than Dragon can keep up. So a lot of information to go through, so I'm going to go through at a fast pace here. Now, in addition to doing basic dictating, you talk, it types, I can also do all of my formatting. So if I wanted to say, bold Dragon Medical Practice Edition. Now here's a feature where it says, you know what, Josh, I find 3 different instances of Dragon Medical Practice Edition. I could say choose 1, choose 2, choose 3, or I could say choose all. So the advanced editing features are all there. In addition to editing features, it's got synchronized audio for playback. So if I wanted to review this, made sure everything was okay, I could just say playback document, or I can send this off to a transcriptionist or a typist who can do the same and have my voice follow along with the text. For example, playback document. So as you see, the synchronized audio is a very helpful feature for going back and saying, what did I say, or did I mean to say this, etc. So know that it has that. Let's move on. Delete document. Dragon Medical, one of my favorite features is the ability to create macros. Now, macros eliminate repetitive dictation. If you're constantly saying the same thing all the time, create a macro for it. There are several different types of macros that can be used. There's text and graphic, there's macro recorders, there's step-by-step macros, and advanced scripting. So here's an example of a macro where I wanted to say, hey, Dragon, what's new in Dragon Medical Practice Edition? And I wanted it to type it all out line by line. Again, lots of different options here. Here's just an example. What's new in Dragon Medical Practice Edition? I'm sure all of you had a chance to study that, and you're going to be able to answer the questions at the quiz at the end. Just kidding, no quiz. But again, repetitive tasks. Let's say I don't want to have to insert that information. I don't want to have to dictate that information. I can just use a phrase, a word, and have the information automatically populated. All right, let's move on. Let's say that you're working with templates. Let's take a look at how that would work. Delete document. Open consultation. And I'll zoom in a little bit so that you can see my template. Now, here's just a basic template that I created. You know, I've got my header. It's a consultation report. You know, it automatically populates the date. There's lots of different features here. Now, as a medical professional, if I'm just working in Word or any other application, again, this is going to work in all of them, I just want to populate these fields where it says default value, who's the referring physician, reason for consultation. So I've created this template, and then I've created all these little placeholders. Now, this is another reason I like the Power Mic, because I don't need to verbally navigate. I don't need to move my mouse and cursor. I can just press a button on this Power Mic, and it just jumps to those fields. So I literally turn on my microphone, I say open consultation, and I press the next button on this Power Mic, and it's waiting there at the name field. Now, notice some of them say default value, where this next one says Dr. Kenneth Stewart Noisewater III. It's because we can even incorporate sort of macros within our template, which, let's say 99% of the time when I'm dictating into this template, I am Dr. Kenneth Stewart Noisewater III. But let's say someone else dictates. By doing it this way, it gives the user the ability to say, hey, yeah, that's me, in which case it is. I'll just skip over it, or dictate right over it. And I'll show you at the end here how I get rid of all those brackets. So let's go through and do some medical dictation so you can see how well it does with medical terminology. Adam Zimbelman. Again, any of those placeholders that I have that are just normal placeholders, I'm going to skip over because that information stays consistent from report to report. The patient is a 31-year-old male who presents with pain in the lumbar area since injuring his back 3 days ago, period. The patient has been very stiff in this area and has had difficulty walking, period. Vicodin, 10 milligrams. The lungs are clear, period. Cardiovascular exam shows regular rate and rhythm, period. The spine is tender in the lumbar and thoracic area, period. Significant pain in the lumbar area with leg movements, but no radicular pain in the lower extremities, period. Motor function is excellent in the lower extremities, period. Lumbar strain after recent injury. The patient is to continue with Vicodin, 10 milligrams for pain, period. Physical therapy for flexibility and strength exercises will also be administered, period. Now, so you say open consultation, you fly through, you dictate your report, then you're done. Now, of course, you can go back and listen to the synchronized data. You can send it on to your transcriptionist. You have several different options, as this is a very scalable solution, but this is an example. Let me just go ahead and zoom out a little bit so you can see the full report. We've just created a full report in under a minute. Now these little brackets here, that's just normal information. As I was going through them, I could have dictated over them, or I can use yet another button on this power mic to press accept defaults, and it goes ahead and it removes all of those brackets. So that's very cool. I want to show you now another example of a macro. This is an advanced scripting macro. Let's say that I've completed this report. Now I want to save this report to my network directory, and I want to save it by the patient's name. This is something that medical professionals do all the time. The problem is that sometimes, it takes a little while for them to go to File, Save As, find the directory that they want to save it to, name it as the patient's note. Again, Dragon can automate a lot of that things for you. So I can just turn on my microphone and say, save dictation. Close window. Close window. Don't save. So full control, full automation. Now what it did is it took that document, it found the patient name field, it copied the patient name field, and it saved it to this handy little directory. I've created a shortcut on my desktop called Sample Reports. So if I go into that Sample Reports, I'm going to see the document named Adam Zimbelman that I just created. So yet another example of full automation and macro capability within Dragon. All right, let's move on. There's a lot more that we can do with this application. Again, due to time restraints, we're flying through. We're not showing you everything, just a small fraction of what this can do. But you have complete control of your EMR, of your word processing, internet sites, of everything on your computer. This is a Section 508 compliant software, which means it was approved by the government for use as assistive technology, as well as use for anything else. So anything really that you can do with your computer, play solitaire, check Facebook, post to Twitter, produce notes, patient notes. All of it can be automated as well. So I'm going to turn on my microphone, and we're going to send an email to Dr. Bailey. So again, I have Dragon. It's minimized in the background. I turn on my microphone and say, send email to Vince Bailey. It automatically opens up my email. If it's Outlook, now it's sent to Vince Bailey, and it's waiting at the subject line, so I can just continue with my report. Frank Williams, move to body. Dear Dr. Bailey, comma, new paragraph. Now, I have to remember to press the button. How I'm controlling my microphone is I'm pressing down a button. So let's try that again. Dear Dr. Bailey, comma, new paragraph. Now, I know a lot of people always get to me and says, well, you're speaking very slow. So, we are talking about speech recognition. You have to be very clear as far as your enunciation. Whatever you say is what the computer hears and understands you. So just to give you an idea of how fast you can go, I'm going to try to get through this report as fast as I can. I had the pleasure of seeing Frank Williams in my office today, period. The patient was admitted to the hospital in early November with decompensated congestive heart failure, comma, which was precipitated by recurrent atrial fibrillation, period, new paragraph. Since discharge, the patient has been feeling better without significant dyspnea on exertion, comma, but does have fatigue, period. The symptoms have substantially improved since prior to hospitalization, period. He has no edema, comma, orthopnea, or PND, period. New paragraph. Other problems include COPD, and he did have a mild respiratory wheeze on evaluation today, period. He remains on inhalation therapy, period. I will see him in 6 months, period. He will follow up with his family doctor in the next month and with his electrophysiologist who will plan placement of an ICD for sudden death prophylaxis, period. Okay, that's as fast as I can possibly talk. And, if we zoom in here, we're going to know that the accuracy is very good. I just created this profile today for this power mic. Very little training required. The program is extremely accurate out of the gate. You spend a few minutes training it, and you can get amazing accuracy results. So, if I wanted to, I could send off this email. But, again, we want to get through more. So let's talk about maybe some editing. Maybe I want to change this. Nothing's wrong, but I didn't mean to say 6 months. I meant 8 weeks. I can just say, select 6 months, 8 weeks. Underline November. Bold Dr. Bailey. Send mail. Now, in addition to working with Excel, Outlook, Microsoft Word, all of your EMR applications, it's also integrated with all of the popular medical websites, which is a really great feature. I think Tom was referring to it earlier, where it gives physicians more flexibility when you're dictating. You don't have to have all these different screens open. If you're interested in searching WebMD or ICD-9 codes or something like that, you don't need the internet open. You just got to turn on your microphone and give the command. For example, search WebMD for Vicodin. It saves us that few seconds of going through, opening up our internet browser, going to WebMD, and then typing in Vicodin. Now, all these tasks that we've been demonstrating, it's saving us a few seconds, but add up those seconds. It leads to you're able to get a lot more done in a lot less time. WebMD is just one example. I can say, search ICD-9 dictionary for insulin. Search PubMed for back pain. And I can keep going. There's a list in Dragon of which medical websites it works with, but it's really nice to have that ability to not have to open up an internet browser, not have to do this, not have to do that. Now, the way Dragon has been demonstrated so far is I've had a program open, my cursor was sitting somewhere, and in order for me to dictate, I put my cursor there. That's called, front-end dictation. A very unique and helpful feature of Dragon Medical Practice Edition is the ability to dictate into the background while searching your favorite resources. This again provides more flexibility to you guys when you're capturing your dictation because you can have your cursor one place. You can be looking at something else completely while dictating in the same time. For example, let's say I want to go to another medical website. Let's see, I did WebMD, ICD-9, PubMD. Let's do search UpToDate for back pain. Now, I'm a physician. I'm going through this information. It brought me to UpToDate for back pain. I can go through. We'll select this. Now, let's say that this information is I need to resource or access or reference this information in my dictation. Dragon Medical has a feature that's called hidden mode, and it's where you can put Dragon in a background mode to where it's listening to you and capturing everything you say, but not transcribing it real time. There's several different ways to access hidden mode. Again, yet another reason I like this power mic is because I can just press a button on the power mic, and my Dragon just went into hidden mode. I don't need to see anything. I just know that it's there. If I wanted to bring up the Dragon bar from my little toolbar, of course I could have it across the top of my screen, but I know it works. It just gets in the way for me, so I leave it there. The program was designed to work the way that you work, so you have lots of options. Let's go through here, and I don't know what else to say. We'll just dictate, keep this simple, and move on. Let's say I wanted to say, hello, little squirrel, ellipsis. How are you doing today? Question mark. Probably not going to find that in a lot of patient notes, but you get the idea. I'm dictating, I'm looking, I'm referencing whatever I'm seeing here, and when I get back to the application that I want to insert this in, whether it's Word, whether it's email, whether it's my EHR, I can just press yet another button on this power mic, and it'll automatically transfer that text. That's called hidden mode. It's a great way for you to be able to dictate either front-end style or back-end style. Let me go ahead and move it on. We're going to introduce you to Rex, who will be speaking more specifics about Dragon and its integration with EMRs and EHRs. So Rex, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. As Josh just finished showing you, there are lots of ways to use Dragon with EMRs, EHRs, and word processors, surfing the web, all kinds of things. I wanted to focus in for just a few moments on some of the ways that you can incorporate Dragon into an EMR. Different EMRs are going to be designed to function with Dragon to different degrees. And I've chosen today to show you a little bit about working with Dragon in Practice Fusion. Practice Fusion is a free EMR that's web-based, and I just wanted to show you a few things about what you can do with it. First off, one of the things that often happens as I'm working with doctors in their EMRs is the need to log into the EMR. And the question I wanted to raise for you today, the first question was, or first idea is, forget about your password. Forget about forgetting your password, because you can set up Dragon to handle your password for you. For instance, let's I just went to the wrong screen. Excuse me for a moment while I get to the right one. There we go. All right. For instance, here we are at the main screen for Practice Fusion. And I can just tell Dragon my login screen. Now, this is not built into Practice Fusion. These are macros that I have created to work with Practice Fusion. Now, in this case, it's interesting. It normally comes up with all 3 fields empty, but right now it's got 2 of them already filled in. But I have a macro that allows me to log in by just saying pf login 2. And as you can see, faster than I could type, Dragon went in and put all the data necessary in the login screen and signed me in. You might be concerned if you've done any work at all with Dragon's templates or macros, won't that make my password available by anybody who happens to log onto my computer? Won't they be able to see my password by editing the macro? Well, let me take you over to my Dragon for just a moment and open up the command browser. I'm going to show you pf login. I just went to the wrong. Oh, that's right. pf login 2 right here. If you highlight it and you have the preview pane open, look what you find. You don't see any of my login information. It says this command was protected by HTH Engineering Incorporated. Please contact, and gives our phone number for more information. Well, what if I try to open it? If I double click on it, I get this box that comes up and tells me exactly the same thing. There is a feature built into Dragon. It's called the My Commands Protection utility. And when you run a template or macro through that utility, it encrypts it and does not allow anyone to see it. So you can safely store passwords and other things like that in macros and use them with confidence because Dragon has them encrypted and protected. You can also simplify searching for patients. Let's go back in here and go charts, go patient search, TESTA, go this one. Now, of course, you can name your macros anything you want, whatever works best in your way of thinking, whatever's going to stick it in your mind. But here I've just performed a search for Maria Test Adult, one of the test patients built into Practice Fusion, and pulled up that patient just with voice commands. So far, I have not hit the keyboard. I have not used my mouse in Practice Fusion. And now I'm ready to enter today's patient record. Maria came to visit me today, and it's time to dictate a note on her. This patient's recent visit. As you can see, you can build macros that streamline the use of your EMR. This is not an EMR that allows you to normally dictate commands with your voice, but you can develop ways to control it with your voice. It may take a little bit of an investment on the front end of work and time put in to understanding how to create macros, but in the end, it can save you a lot of time. As Josh was saying, you add those few seconds up, and suddenly you've got some real time, some real savings. Once now, and I have only because I haven't developed a macro for that mouse click right there, because I just didn't do it. I just clicked that one, but once into this screen, I can say go objective, go subjective. Oh, it's funny, that one's worked all along. Go subjective. Thank you. This patient presents today with a chief complaint of pain in the right knee subsequent to a fall while rollerblading, period. And you can dictate your notes. And so there are lots of ways that you can streamline your work in Dragon, or by using Dragon with your EMR. Even note entry can be streamlined, as Josh showed so well there, with some of the text and graphics macros. Anything that you say repeatedly, it stays pretty much the same from one patient to another. You can streamline with a macro or a template and get the same results with a very short verbal command to save yourself time. You might be saying, but I don't use an EMR. Can you help me with my workflow? Well, I just wanted to take a moment to introduce you to some of the tools that may be helpful to you if you don't use an EMR. Specifically, I wanted to look a little bit at the newest of the Olympus product line, the Olympus DS7000 digital voice recorder. This recorder comes with a docking station, all the cables necessary to connect it to your computer, and a power supply. Comes with Olympus dictation management software that allows you to record into your recorder, drop it into your cradle, and then, let's say you don't have Dragon, you have a transcriptionist, it can send that document automatically, that recording automatically to your transcriptionist by attaching it to an email and sending it by email, or by posting it to an FTP site, or if that's a person who works in the same office with you, you can post it to a shared folder on your network. And it will do all that automatically. That can definitely save you some time. It can also, if you use Dragon, automatically send your document to be transcribed by Dragon. And Dragon, in the new ODMS software that comes with the DS7000, can even transcribe your document into a template similar to the one that Josh was showing a minute ago, that has your practice letterhead on it or whatever you want, and then put the text into that document. Dragon works with a lot of different tools, such as these digital voice recorders, to allow you to streamline your work, to make things faster and more efficient for you, to save you time. We all know paperwork is one of the biggest headaches in the medical practice, and the whole idea here is to minimize the burden of that for you. So without any further ado, that's really all I wanted to share with you this afternoon. I'll turn it back over to the next person on our list.
Thank you, Rex.
All right, hello. This is Joe Winter. Just wanted to say thank you for being here so far, and you can just see a sampling of the cool things you can do with Dragon and how it will save time and money. I was going to say, when you purchase Dragon from us, you do have personal concierge tech setup and support. That means we'll support you. For instance, Rex will do a go-to-meeting with you with your permission. He'll log on to the screen of your computer, help you install Dragon. Then the the enrollment process, where it understands, the computer understands how your voice works. That only takes, about 5 minutes. You just read it, a sample medical report, and now Dragon's ready to go and understand you with nearly perfect accuracy. It's so fast, it's spooky. I was on a call with an Indian physician yesterday, and I could not believe how fast he talked and how accurately it transcribed him. We are amazed by this product, and we love it. Rex will help you create macros or templates to streamline your particular workflow. If you have a certain EHR that you're adopting or plan to adopt, our team can help you with that. And that's included in your price. We don't limit tech support. You can call back a year or 2 years from now with a question, and we'll be very happy to help you. As long as you own it, you have support from us. We also offer very fast shipping next day with your purchase of Dragon at the price on the web there. And we also include a free bonus training DVD with every purchase, and that allows you to put yourself to sleep at night or learn something as it may be. So we thank you so much. We're going to open up to questions right now and open up the lines. So let's go ahead with that.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and open up your lines so that you can ask any questions that you would like. So we've seen a lot of exciting things today. Any questions? If you don't feel comfortable verbally asking questions, there's a chat window as well as a questions dialog box connected to your GoToWebinar control panel. You can type those in. We'll just give you a few minutes to do that. We'll see what you've got. I've got one question here by Terry that says, at the end of the webinar, can you have a one-on-one demo with me for my EMR called Prime Suite? Terry, we'll be following up with each and every one of you. We will address any questions that you have. We may not know all of the EMRs because there's about 300 plus of them out there, but we will do our best to help you streamline the entire process. That's a great question. Any other questions?
Hey, Josh, I got a question here that just showed up on instant message from George. It says, are there any deadlines coming up that we need to be aware of regarding the EMR? With regards to the Practice Fusion, if you happen to bill Medicare, it's not too late to sign up for the free e-prescription to actually avoid some of the CMS penalties. The way that it works is if you send just 10 electronic prescriptions by June 30th, 2012, and then enter the G code G8553 on the corresponding claims, you can actually save the 1.5 Medicare penalties in 2013. So there's every now and then, we're going to try to keep that information fresh, but every now and then there are deadlines, and just sending 10 e-prescriptions is a good way to dive in and truly activate the EMR for sure. So thanks George, appreciate that.
Oh, great, thank you. We've got another question from Josh that says, does it work with drop-down menus? And yes, Dragon does work with drop-down menus. There's several different commands that would help you with that. Open list is one of them. Another question from Christopher, how does Dragon recognize what application to use if there's more than one application open? And that's easy. Whichever application has focus, that's the application that Dragon's going to go to. So if you have multiple monitors like we do, whatever application has that focus, that's where it's going to type the information to. And a great question, another question, are there any online tutorials for Dragon available? Yes, there's several. We've got a YouTube channel that has several tutorials there. Maybe you guys want to open up the YouTube channel or show the URL?
You got it, Josh. Right here. It's called Florida HITECH channel, and it's just a smattering of some of it. Here's the hidden mode that you'd mentioned and went over. Some of a real quick how-to with some of the commands that you can get an idea of the interface itself with some of the Dragon screens and what you'd be looking at. So yeah, I would try going to the YouTube channel It's called Florida HITECH, and there's just a wealth of information there for you.
Yeah, as the leading provider of these solutions, we have several resources available for you. So again, we will follow up with you, make sure that you get everything that you need to get going with the solution. Any other questions? Those are all great questions. We love when we get questions because we know that you guys didn't fall asleep. So thank you very much. We've got just one more, which is what is the average cost of Dragon? You know, there are different editions. Again, we'll certainly follow up with you on that question. And does 2 sound cards produce better results than 1? And the answer is no. Your computer is just going to utilize one of your sound cards at a time. If you don't have a very strong sound card, that's okay, because a lot of these microphones, even the one that we've been using today, are USB microphones, and it bypasses that sound card altogether. But it uses single duplex sound cards, full duplex sound cards, a whole list of fun devices, sound cards, microphones, and recorders that it works with. Another great question. Well, that's all the questions we have. We thank you guys very much for your time. We appreciate it. We will follow up with you again. We do have a recording of this webinar. We have all the links provided, a copy of the presentation as well. We will reach out to you and make sure that you get everything that you need. Thank you, and have a great, oh, before I go, just one more question. I mean, you guys can ask as many questions as you want to, so as long as they keep popping up, we'll answer them. How can your voice files travel with you? That's a great question. Digital voice recorders like the one we showed today, the Olympus DS3500 or the Olympus DS7000, they're completely mobile. There's no wires. We can dictate into those devices all day long. And when we're ready, when we get to a computer, we simply put it into the docking station, and it'll automatically send the files where we want them to go, whether it's through email, through FTP, or through the network. So this is a great opportunity and method of being completely mobile, wires, hands-free, all of that fun stuff. We do have other solutions available. If you're interested, again, we'll be more than happy to follow up with you on some other alternatives for complete mobility as well. The good part here is Dragon is integrated with a lot of these other leading manufacturers. You know, Olympus and Nuance, those are 2 different companies, but they recognize that Dragon is the leader and you know, the dominant source for speech recognition within the medical community. So a lot of them, not only Olympus, but a lot of manufacturers now are integrating their solutions to be compatible with Dragon, and that gives you, the consumer, a lot more options. Okay, we will end the meeting now. Thank you guys very much for your time. We look forward to working with you.